Hi everyone, in this video I will share to you and walk you through how to create your Bitmoji virtual classroom using Google Slides. With the COVID-19 still around and changing our ways of living, I think it is important that we also adapt to how we can still provide learning and instruction for our students and still stay safe during this time of the pandemic. And for this reason, you may want to jump into the trend of creating your own virtual classroom. Bitmoji Virtual Classroom is a great and fun way of providing interactive activities and assignments for your students. In addition, building your virtual classroom will allow you to effectively and efficiently manage your time, not to mention that it enhances digital collaboration and communication among your students and your peers. Of course, there's a lot more you can get from creating your virtual classroom. Personally, for me, it taps into my creative side, which is something that really motivates me so much. So let's begin. Are you guys ready? But before we begin, I want to show you my virtual classroom. Actually, since I'm an instructional coach now, I call it my virtual office. So let's step into my virtual classroom now and see what I have here. So this is my virtual office. Let's open it. So as you can see, this is the main page of my virtual office. So by the way, the reason why I have created my virtual office is so that I can help more teachers in our school. So as you can see, this is my Bitmoji. If you pay attention to the cursor, you will see that these books have links to different sites or resources. So I have here, let me walk you through the different resources that I have on my main page or my virtual office. So I have resources for classroom management. There's resources for collaboration. We do a lot of collaborations in our school. I have a bunch of pre-technology for teachers, classroom protocols, resources for our state assessment, our local state assessments, and of course, school-wide assessments. These are data and some other resources. So let's click on one of the links on my main page. I want to show you my tech tools. So if you click on tech tools, you will get to this page on my virtual office. So these are basically most of the technology that I have used in the past and I have shared with teachers. And if you click on this button right here, it'll go to another page with more pre-technology for teachers. So let's go back to the main page. So again, this is again my virtual office. And now that you have an idea what a Bitmoji virtual classroom looks like, let's go ahead and create one for you. So the first thing we need of course is a Google account, particularly an access to your Google Drive. So once you have created a Google account, we will open a new Google Slides. And there are two ways of doing that. First, we can go to our Google Drive. And right now, I'm on my Google Drive. Click on New at the upper left corner of your Google Drive browser. This one right here. Okay, when you click on it, a menu will pop up. We want to hover our mouse to Google Slide and select Blank Presentation. And here's a new blank presentation. So now that we have a blank Google Slide or an empty Google Slide, the very first thing we need to do here is to eliminate all the distractions. I'm talking about this text box. We don't need this. And of course, this list of themes. So basically, that's one way of opening a blank Google Slide. But let me teach you a much easier and faster way of opening a Google Slide. So in order for you to do that, you open a new browser and type in slides new. And there you go. Now we have a new blank slide. So again, let's eliminate this text box and this list of themes. Now that we have a new empty slide, the first thing we want to do is to rename our virtual classroom. So I'm going to call it My Virtual Classroom. There you go. Next thing is to put a background image so that our slide will look like a classroom. So let's look for an image of wall and floor from the web. And to do that, we will click on Insert here on the menu bar. Click on Insert, hover to Image, and search the web. So let's look for wall and floor. There you go. So I have some nice choices here. So I think I like this one. Let's drag this to the slide. And of course, we want this image to cover the entire slide. So we will drag it and expand the image. There you go. So now that we have a background image, the next thing we want to put is a whiteboard or a chalkboard. So let's look for a whiteboard. By the way, one thing that you need to remember when you're looking for image in the internet is to always look for a transparent image. So you want to include the term transparent. Okay, so what about instead of a whiteboard, let's put a chalkboard. There you go. So this is too big for our classroom, so we will resize this chalkboard. Okay, so I think that's a perfect size. The next thing I want to put in my virtual classroom is a bookshelf. So let's look for a bookshelf. I think I found one, so this one, I like this one. Just drag it to the slide. Of course, it's too big, so we will resize it. Okay, I think that's a good size. Let's make it a little bit more smaller. Okay. Also, I want to drop the shadow of this bookshelf. So right click on the image, the bookshelf, click on Format option, and drop the shadow. Okay, next thing, now that we have a bookshelf, let's put some plants in our classroom. So let's look for transparent plants. Plant. This. Okay, resize it. I want to put this plant in between the board and the shelves. And I want it behind the shelf, so I'm going to right click on this image and order it, send it backward. There you go. I also want to put plants on top of the shelves. So let's look for pot plant. I think I like this cartoon plant. Resize it. good size now. I want to duplicate this. I want to put 2 of this here on the top. Okay. Okay. Let's put a couch. It's a nice one. And resize this. Okay. By the way, we forgot to drop the shadows of all the images that we have put. So let's put a shadow for this plant. Right click on it and click on format option, drop the shadow. Same thing with the other 2 plants. Let's drop the shadow of that one, this one too, and of course the couch. And there you go. Now that we have a basic stuff in our classroom. And now that we have most of the stuff that we need, we have a chalkboard, we have a couch and some plants. Maybe we can put a poster on our wall. So let's look for some nice posters. And since I'm a former environmental science teacher, I want to put a poster related to environmental science. So let's look for Save the Earth poster. I like this one, so I'm going to drag it. I will make it smaller, resize it a bit more, and I want to place the poster right here beside the board. Now I also want to put a background, a border on the poster. So let's put a white border, and I want to increase the size of that border. So instead of 1 pixel, let's make it 3 pixel. There you go. And like what I did with the other stuff that we put in, I'm going to drop the shadow of this poster. Again, you want to click on format option and then click on drop shadow. And there you go. So before we finish off, the last few things I want to add in our classroom are books. And we will place those books in the shelving. And of course, we will also want to put a greeting on the board for our students. So let's go ahead and find some nice books in the web. So I'm going to click on Insert, Image, and search the web. I want to look for transparent books. This one. Okay. Let's crop this part of this image or picture. Make it smaller so it'll fit in the shelf. And there you go. We have filled our shelvings with some nice books. So now we are ready for the final touch. That's our welcome greeting on the board. So to do that, we will click on Insert and we will select Text Box. So there you go. We have our very inviting welcome greeting on our board. And I think this concludes the first part of our Bitmoji virtual classroom tutorial. And in our next video, I will teach you to add your Bitmoji character and put hyperlinks and pages in your Google Slide virtual classroom. So see you next time.